Hi guys, so today I would like to talk to you about a topic that is called necropolitics. So, first of all, as we all know, power is often defined by the ability to govern life. But what happens when power is exercised through death instead of life? So, this is basically the essence of necropolitics, which is a concept developed by Akilman, and it refers to the ways in which states, institutions, and systems determine who lives and who dies, not just through direct violence, but through policies that create conditions of suffering, abandonment, and exclusion. He builds on Michael Foucault's idea of biopolitics, which describes how governments regulate life through surveillance, healthcare, and population control. However, he goes further, showing how power is exercised through death, whether through war, incarnation, or neglect. And it's not just about killing, but about creating death worlds where survival is uncertain and life is systematically devalued. Necropolitics is visible in many aspects of modern society. It operates in war zones, refugee camps, prisons, and even impoverished communities where access to healthcare, clean water, and basic rights are denied. Understanding necropolitics helps us to recognize how power structures shape life and death, often in ways that are invisible to those who are not directly affected by this. One example of this is the War on Terror, where governments justify mass killings in the name of security. And basically, entire populations are subjected to surveillance, drone warfare, and indefinite detention, reinforcing a system where death is a tool of governments. The War on Terror has led to the deaths of thousands of civilians, often labeled as collateral damage, while governments frame these deaths as necessary for national security. Drone warfare exemplifies necropolitics by allowing states to kill remotely without direct engagement. These strikes often target individuals based on algorithms and intelligence reports, sometimes leading to wrongful deaths. And basically, the victims, many of whom are civilians, are denied due processes and their deaths are justified as part of a broader strategy to maintain control and eliminate perceived threats. Beyond direct killings, necropolitics manifests in indefinite detention centers like Guatemala Bay, where prisoners are held without trial, subjected to torture, stripped of their rights, and these spaces exist outside of conventional legal frameworks, waiting zones where life is suspended and individuals are reduced to mere bodies under state control. Another example is refugee crisis and border politics, where restrictive border policies lead to thousands of deaths at the sea detention centers. And governments use immigration laws to determine who is worthy of life and who is left perish. Refugees fleeing war, poverty, and climate disasters often face militarized borders where their survival depends on political decisions rather than humanitarian needs. Even refugees reach safer territories, they often face systematic discrimination, lack of healthcare, and economic exclusion. These conditions create a slow form of death, one where survival is technically possible but deeply precarious. And necropolitics does not always involve direct killing. Sometimes it operates through abandonment and neglect, like in the case of immigrants. Another aspect is related to energy poverty. In many regions, governments allow industries to pollute water, air, and disproportionately affect marginalized communities. These decisions create also networks, as mentioned before, where survival is uncertain. Environmental necropolitics is particularly evident in areas where toxic waste, deforestation, and climate change make life increasingly unavailable, especially for the work class. And this is done to prioritize the needs of industry and the needs of people who are in charge of creating new like sources of income for the state. So overall, necropolitics is not just about war, but it's about everyday decisions that determine who thrives, and who suffers. And understanding this concept helps us to challenge systems and normalize death as a political tool. By recognizing necropolitics in our world, we can push for policies that prioritize life, dignity, and justice.